They know. So do you want that to on speaker, let listen and send him the recording?
Well, I mean, we'll just, I mean, if he's already, we can just, we'll just email him the recording.
I mean, I invited him, but I don't know if check his email. He's invited.
Okay, how are you? Now I have your attention.
No, just tell him to check his email. It's recorded. All right, go. You're live.
Hey guys, hey, we're ready to talk now. It's real quick, just want to talk to everybody. No, I don't think Mark is on the,
Okay.
he might not be, okay, I don't know. Anyway, you know, every week I just want to talk with everyone quickly and just kind of see how their week went and, you know, what's going on. And so, how did the week go?
Good.
Busy?
Efficient. Organized. Good.
Has it been crazy?
It has been, yeah.
What do you mean by that? What's making it crazy?
A lot of closings.
Closing, saying like everything has been going on, so like so much been going on. There's something specific. It takes that hard day, like you don't know what's going on. Like they want you to jump around the files like in the middle of nowhere, and they want
The files in the middle of nowhere?
like they'll come back like, okay, you have a problem with the CD. Okay, you have to clear this. Like if there's an error, the underwriter isn't able to CTC the loan.
Mm-hmm.
They'll come to the processor to get that taken care of. Does not make sense. Go to the branch court, try to get that taken care of to CTC the loan. Like, why do you want processor to go back to branch court to make it happen? So
Instead of them going directly to?
like
Yeah, that's what kind of wild.
something, I have to go back and just get that taken care of. Otherwise, it's not gonna happen. Because if you delay for 20, 30 minutes, then they're gonna say like, okay, I'm in a different file, and I'll go back to the file whenever I get this next. So you're definitely.
I mean, compared to what you're used to with AMSW, overall, I mean, is there a better benefit?
Like for American Southwest, there was a different problem. Like we are not facing that similar problem. That was.
That's what I'm saying. Is there a net benefit there?
Pretty much at this point in time, we are on equalizer. Like we are having no problem with underwriting. Underwriting is way far better competitively, so we're not having any problem with underwriting.
Are you guys seeing any issues with the closing department?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, but what is that a contributor? Is that the closing department or is that TRID?
Is it TRID or is it the closing department?
I think it has a lot to do.
Or a combination?
I think it's a combination of both. Like, I mean, like even the other night, we didn't get a final CD. We had a closing yesterday. We didn't even get the final CD. And then when we got it, Brian adjusted it and we had to take a hit on it, a $500 hit.
This is
So,
a very short stack.
I think the problem is they're having issues on TRID and they're overworked and probably overloaded right now. And then it trickles down to us and we're over. I mean, our processing teams are overworked and overloaded right now.
Kevin, hey, are you guys paying attention to this?
Yes.
Okay.
We're just discussing another big problem we've been noticing lately as well.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's what I'm trying to get your feedback. Are you guys seeing anything with the closing department issue?
Yeah, closing definitely. A lot of inefficiencies, like Syed said, to touch upon what Syed said.
Is there something you can distill down, we could, because I'm gonna talk to them about this, and so I want to know, what can you guys put together some specific bullet points on what the issues are in closing?
Nothing really that I can pinpoint, but I feel like we're kind of getting pushed to the back of the line. And I definitely know how that feels personally. So it's like overall as a branch, I think we're kind of, they're giving more priority to you know, bigger branches, southern branch, Atlanta branch, especially during tight closings during the week. This week was crazy, you know, we had closings on the 15th. We had to squeeze it through. We had to get Josh to send in an email to get, you know, branch manager approval just to squeeze something in. And it shouldn't be like that. So as far as pinpointing one specific thing, though, I can't.
Well, no, because if everyone's saying there's an issue with closing,
all have issues with
I can't. We need we need clarity.
To me, like honestly, to me, I need the response back from further. Like I give you like a couple of examples. I have a loan that's right now closing contract. It got delayed for some reason. Like there was some amendment in the contract that was never addressed or something like that by the realtor. So it went back and it had amended after 2 days. We are trying to schedule the closing for last 2 days, sending out emails left and right. do the closer, they say, oh, we can take care of it. I sent out an email to LCB, they said, it's in the closing department, like, it's in the closing bucket, I cannot do anything with it, like, nobody's responding back for the last 2 days, nothing's happening, it's getting delayed for 2 days.
Yeah, that was
3 days,
Brian
it's
too the other
third
day.
day,
Okay.
for no reason.
Okay, so
They're-
communication.
They're having, their closers are walking out, like once a week they lose somebody in closing.
I know, that's the issue.
Problem.
I know, and that's what I'm not trying to pinpoint.
Yeah.
I think they're overworked too. I think that's the issue.
Yeah, I mean, they're there
They're-
working till 9, 10 o'clock
Yeah.
at night, and Jay was there last Saturday too, I mean, he emailed me and.
But that's the thing. I think they're just understaffed. Like, I think that's really what it comes
No,
down to.
we need to know these things, okay? Anything else you guys are seeing that, areas that we need to improve on, or things that are issues that are coming up that, hey, man, has anyone seen anything else?
I mean, the only other thing-
Amir, Michael,
I mean,
Don, Fresh?
are you guys getting overworked right now? I mean, do you guys feel like y'all have?
People wearing just jerseys to the office. Not these small.
Okay. Oh,
I mean, how do y'all feel? Because I mean, we're trying to help y'all out. Like we're doing, we're trying to take weight off y'all's pressure. But I know you guys are a big part of the process, and I mean, we're only good as our weakest link. So if there's anything, I know we're trying to do more for you guys to help you guys out. If there's anything else we can do, but do you guys feel like you guys have too much work on your plates right now? Or are you guys just enough? Or I mean, I'm trying to figure out the inefficiencies here, because if we start funding, I mean, right now, if we're getting backed up with these numbers, what's going to happen when we double these numbers? That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, Angela.
So,
Sorry to cut you off. What we were talking about, and I guess I'll have the bosses say it, but we brought this up in like a meeting the other day, and Josh got kind of offended. Anytime we propose that maybe rather than hire more at Lowe's, we need to, add more support to the processing staff. So I had his team. The processors are doing great. They really are. I don't know if this is true, but when, I was in a meeting with all of them the other day in Josh's office, and Josh was, telling them that they weren't at capacity, that at AMSW, they were handling almost double what they're handling now. Doesn't seem that way, but, maybe that's not the case with these numbers. But for your projections, once everybody starts funding bigger numbers, there's no way we're going to maintain. There's no way.
From what
We're
perspective?
breaking at the seams. I mean, it just seems like it either has to be less loan officers or more processors. That's how I see it.
Well, I mean, right now, historically with Supreme and for me, just with my experience, you normally, you'll have, usually, just from me looking at Supreme's numbers and with my experience, that if you're funding 10 million a month, you're supposed to be able to do that with 3 processors.
is that post-trade or pre-trade?
Huh?
Is that post or pre-trade?
Well, that's just with 5 people in processing, 3 processors and 2 assistants for 80 units a month.
Okay, so it's 5 processors and
Well, 3 processors and 2 assistants for 80 units.
okay.
That's historically, what,
But are you guys finding it easier or harder to close loans than trade?
Well, it depends on the type of loan that you get in, honestly.
Right.
I mean, like,
So each
well,
loan's
but
different.
let's
So
just
it's
say
hard
this,
to
though.
quantify.
One thing that, we also got to look at is the quality of the submission, because I've gotten a lot of, comments from the processing department that there's a decent percentage of loans that get submitted that are poor quality.
Right, and that's
Well,
back
of
on
course,
us,
that's always
yeah.
going to be the argument. But I mean, Josh has been working with all of us to clean up our
So,
files.
I mean, if it's a clean file, then you shouldn't really, we had this talk with, I had this talk with, some of the, senior management there, and, looking at the numbers, again, if you're closing 80 units, you should be able to pull it off with 5 people in processing. And, we were extremely overweight, in processing, just a few months ago. Almost the ratio was 1 to 1, and that doesn't make any sense. So, now, yes, as once we hit 10 million, we have the capacity here to do that with the people that we have. You also got to remember that Nadia and Alex are also helping with processing now too. And what's going to inevitably happen is that, as time permits, that Michael and Ashley will probably, are going to be processing their own files too. So you have to think about that. So, so in other words, you're not going to just have Angelina John's gonna, is obviously gonna be removed from processing. So in the future, what I predict is gonna happen is that as of next month, you know, you'll hand to file to Michael or Angelina or Saeed or Ashley.
Right.
So you can't have just, you know, two senior processors and then 3 assistants and over the long term. So those people are going to be promoted to a higher level. You see? So, but now as we bring in more people, and like, let's say that we expand further, Mark's bringing in 2 more loan officers. When Kevin moves to Pittsburgh, he's going to bring in more people. And as it justifies, then we're going to obviously increase our processing. But right now, there's no need to bring in more processors. If anything, we would promote and develop within before we bring in more processors.
No, yeah.
Yeah. So you know, and Ashley and Michael are certainly, that was the whole plan from the get-go. Is that when John came to production, that I know they were going to go to processing on their own.
No, I think they'd both
Because
make great process.
the way that it doesn't make, see, even a loan officer, they're going to hit. You can only talk to so many people in a day. You see, even when Ron and Brian were my assistant, I can only talk to so many people in a day. Saeed can only process so many loans.
Right.
It doesn't make sense to have just him and then have have an assistant, or you can train that assistant and develop them, process their own, because you're going to get more units. See, so you see, he can't close 60 units by himself.
No.
Even if he had an assistant. But if you have 2 processors, then they can split 30 units each, and it'd be more efficient, and the service level will still be up, and everyone will still make good money. So if you give him 50 loans, the service is going to go down. He's going to get stressed out, and then he's not going to have any days off. He's going to get upset.
But Angelo,
Huh?
also they got the analytics of it is that two doing that job, you're leaving yourself room for growth. Well, right now, if he's doing 50 loans, you have no room for growth.
Right. That's why that's exactly, you know, what we're.
You always, I mean, I think you always need to maintain that analytical cushion of when one goes up, you got to have another one to replace it.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, if John goes away, and if Ashley and what's the other person?
Mike?
If Ashley and Mike can't together, I mean, if they're not in position to pick up the exact load that John left, then John shouldn't have left. Ashley and Michael need to be in position, ready to jump in and take that load. Otherwise, the move can't be made. Or conversely, maybe they are ready, and then they should go ahead and start doing it. Then we have room to hire more loan officers if they can handle 25 apiece or whatever the case may be. I'm just saying whatever the scenarios dictates, because everybody's not going to produce the same thing.
Yeah. I guess what he's saying is we lost John, and you know, as great as Ashley and Michael are, maybe they weren't up to John's level yet. So there was a balance there. So by losing John, we're not able.
Well, the thing is that,
Moneyball.
yeah, I mean, but you got to look at it, I guess, I mean, okay, here's the thing though, guys. I mean, look at, I think we, you know, please don't worry that, you know, Josh and I keep an eye on this. We're nowhere near any type of imbalance. You know, our guys are funding $500,000 a month.
It's not, I don't think it's so much of a balance. I think it's more efficiency. I think that's more the underlying issue is the efficiency. And
well, when you say efficiency and you're saying imbalance, now let's look at that for a second. So what specifically are you referring as inefficient?
well, I mean, previously before, yes, you know, if you send in a bad loan into processing, I've gotten a bad rap about that before. I've done my best to get better. Josh has helped me a lot. But I feel like, you know, when you send something in, it's got to be like a well-oiled machine. It's got to go through the process. You can't have loans going back and forth, switched off to other processors. It has to go through the, probably because that's just going to bog down the system. You talk about bogging down the whole processing pipeline with with, you know, bad loans, yes, of course, that's going to ruin, you know, slow
It's
down.
just like a traffic jam.
Yeah, but you can't also have those inefficiencies while it's already in the pipe. It's got to be smooth. And Josh is working on that. He's been doing a good job. But I mean, do you understand what I'm saying?
So let's wait a second. Sayed, how many loans do you have right now?
28.
Okay, Fresh, how many do you have?
25.
Who else?
I have 4 left.
Okay, so we have 60 loans.
I like 3 or 4.
So 60 loans.
But Angel, I think what you have is the perfect storm had happened is you had us transitioning from Calyx to Encompass. That was a challenge. Then you had Trid hit almost simultaneously. I mean, this is all producing one big storm and then John changing from processing to production. It not that the wave will calm down. It's just a matter of how much time will it and what will it cost until it does calm down.
Well, the thing is that we have 5 people in processing and you have 60 loans.
I don't think it's a problem right now.
I don't understand what the.
I don't think it's the manpower. I think what he's trying to say, and what we're trying to say is.
A bunch of bullshit, and we just need to get
Yeah, exactly. I think that's really.
So I know, but I mean,
Well
I'm
said,
just
Ryan.
trying to,
Thank you, sir.
yes.
There should never be a point either where you're saying, okay, we're working on Fernando's now, and we're not touching any new submissions. I think that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
That's what's happening right now. If no new submissions are getting touched by Sayed's team, they're only working on closing Fernando's loans.
What do you mean?
That's all they were doing for
Exactly
Kevin.
what he did.
Come on, that's why it goes 1.8.
What are you talking about?
Oh, well, I'm lost with what you're saying. So.
Okay, here's the quote.
I think the loans are getting worked on.
How's that period?
If we're,
Well, hold on. What?
let's calm down. If we're trying to get them closed. Additional submissions aren't gonna move the needle. This is the board. We're not fucking funding a whole lot.
I know that's not what
So we
I'm
gotta get them closed.
saying. Where's the
So,
inefficiency?
but I
That's what
guess we have 60 loans and we have 5 people in the processing department. And if you had 120 loans, it's 5 people in processing to close 80 units. That's 150 loans in processing. Close 80 units a month. So there's no capacity issue over there. There's something wrong with the loans or something else.
That's what we're trying to figure out. Where's
So-
the inefficiency?
Because 5 people can close 80 units a month.
They, you know,
Yeah, but if one load's sitting for 5 days without you hearing anything.
Exactly.
or telling them moving up. Okay, Lena, you.
Listen, if you have 60 loans in processing, let's say you close 70% of that, that's 40 units.
But I don't think it's on processing. I don't. So that's
So-
why we're working on. It's us. Like we do have to work in there.
I just, some doesn't, you guys closed 15 loans apiece last month. That's not a lot of loans. That's not a lot.
Yeah, we all posted about a month last.
But I'm just saying though, that's,
For December, all 3 of us.
yeah, but that,
posted
you
about
can
once.
handle, each one of you can handle at least 30, each one of you can
So
handle.
I
30.
agree. I mean, the
Well, our
processing
pipeline,
is great.
our pipeline
If it's
capacity.
a good loan, you should be able to close 30 loans each processor.
I mean, at AMSW.
I think that's the
our
problem.
pipeline,
What you're saying, if it's a good loan.
Maximum we had.
And I think we're
15
just.
loans each under
I would say, Angelina has closed some loans for me that were it was rough. So I'm working more on trying to make sure I get clean submissions in there.
Yeah,
because,
it's a
like,
battle.
because,
It's a
like,
long battle.
I know it took, it took a lot of her time. So I respect
I'll get with you.
that there's time on that when I'm thinking sometimes they get some loans that need a lot of work to get it closed. So it's eating up their time. So I think it is on us.
And that's what I think that's the inefficiency. These hard loans, these difficult loans, all it takes is one bad loan to slow down the entire pipeline.
What's a bad loan?
Trying,
Hold on.
whether it's the file contacts, ordering the appraisals, we're trying our best. And
Back to
we haven't really had that exposure up until a week or two ago. Josh is like, hey, this is what we need from you guys now. That's fine.
What's a bad loan?
Interested to see how things are going to play out from here. It's not the process. It's more on us. But it was a disconnect. There was a disconnect of what we were. What, Mark?
I'm thinking they basically turn water into wine because, like I said, some loans it's borderline, and they're
Whoa, hold on, everybody. One question.
to
No, y'all have classified.
it's taking more of their time up.
Talk louder.
Can you
So.
ask a question?
Okay.
Wait, hold on a second, Mark. Hold on a second.
No, this needs to, because y'all throwing about 15 different categories, and I want to know a definition of each one. What's a borderline? What's a good? What's a marginal? What's a bad? and where do you prioritize each one?
Every
Every
loan-
borrower, hold on. Every borrower has an equal right to their loan if they qualify, no matter how much work it takes.
Yes.
But here's the
We're not
thing.
talking
Don't say that there's a bad loan. What's a bad loan?
One that has no chance of closing without being fucking resurrected.
Well,
9
I've had.
Exactly. If you have two unsatisfied judgments that aren't met before it goes to closing.
Well, okay, but I've had according to my boss, I've had about a dozen bad loans close.
Huh?
About a dozen.
What is that? You have a loan like that?
Okay,
Listen,
listen,
I don't know. Fuck no.
okay, Fernando,
But these are issues that need to be addressed before it gets to processing.
No, I mean, we each had a maximum at AMSW, we each had 50 loans in the pipe.
Yeah.
And it was before Saeed even started, Johnny and I each had 75 loans. So it's not, we're not at capacity, we're not. We all closed the
No,
same amount of
you-
loans last
is it-
month, all three of
You
us.
turn the air up cold.
No, I agree. I don't think it's y'all. I don't. I'm like, if anything, you
We
guys
work
are awesome.
on first in, first out.
Yeah.
That's the way we work them up.
I think it's.
Loan that comes in first, that's what.
I think, and that's what I'm saying. I think it's more on us. It's like, these loans should be like 95% ready to go by the time they touch you. Like, it might be missing BMB or something.
Hey,
like that.
everyone, focus back here.
I'm just trying to figure out. I lost a little bit. No.
You already lost. Angela, you already lost. You know exactly what's going on.
It sounds like we have a loan submission problem. That's really what it is. He's got, yes, sir.
Josh has been working with us on all of those, so he's been doing a great job. I mean, I know I've had a lot of issues in the past, not submitting perfect files. But I mean, I feel like I'm better, and Josh can attest to that. And like Kevin brought up, he was saying that Josh is putting pressure on the processing team to work on my loans, and he's a little upset because his loans are getting worked on. But that's because these loans have been in the pipe for a while now. They should have been closed. Not all of them, but some of the ones, like some of the ones that got transferred over from Angelina to Saya, they should have been closed already. I'm having to get extensions. Kevin's upset because now he's having to get extensions. That's the inefficiency I'm talking about. We have to have something towards a well-oiled machine that flows smoothly through the process.
Well, okay, now here's the thing though, I don't understand. I've said many times, if the file is not ready, why is it coming into processing? Why is it, those loans are supposed to get rejected if they're not ready?
I think beginning of this month, definitely, end of December to close out the year, but I think definitely beginning of this month, at least with me, and I can see with everybody else, Josh has been really setting time aside to make sure that he gives the okay before we can send the loans into processing, so.
Well, the other thing is that, I mean, okay, if you've been here for 6 months, you should know how to submit a loan to processing. And you don't need Josh, just go take the initiative, and go sit with that processor and say, hey, is this how I'm supposed to send this loan in? Go learn.
But we just started doing that.
But just look, it's common sense. Take a notepad, go sit with them. Hey, how do I need to send this loan? Show me the way.
Well, what did you just say
whatever.
2 seconds ago? How are these loans getting into processing? The only ones that were allowed to send loans directly to processing was Kevin and Damon up until a month ago. They were the only ones that, like,
No, but-
Josh had to
but-
sit with all of these. So how are they getting past Josh and then they're still going into
No, but
processing?
these guys know that if the loan is not of quality, that it's supposed to be rejected. You know, we've been talking about this since we've been working together. That why do you take the loan?
That's what happens.
What's quality though? I mean, like-
But that's the thing, if Josh is sitting with her shirt, it's
I don't know. I'm still waiting on the answer too.
Well, no. There's certain things that have to be in the file. We've gone over this many times. We've gone over this many times what the checklist is. Okay.
But everything's in the checklist and it still sits for 5 days.
Well, that's the business.
But
I mean,
Supreme's underwriting gets longer and longer, but we have to deal with it, so.
that's the business. So that's, you know, the thing is that
Comes
the loan officer gets highly rewarded relative to the processor for doing that work. So that's the, you know, that's part of the job. So, you know, it doesn't make any sense to, because, you know, if that's really what's happened is that if someone else's loans are having to get sacrificed because of someone else's loans, and that's what bogs down the system. See?
Yes.
So you know, you want to, you know, make sure that, you know, you're turning in good quality loans, and I shouldn't have to define quality. Everyone should know what that is.
The thing is, I mean, but still, someone that
everybody else had the classification. I wanted to hear what their definition of that was.
You know, like, my point is, like, honestly, like, if I say I have a pipeline of 30 loans, 4 loans are on hold, 3 loans needs actually work that needs your concentration for a good 3 to 4 hours, to put in that loan to to realize if it's actually a loan or not, right? So like if you have like, that makes it up 30% of your pipeline, that's something like you don't know what's gonna happen. And that stops you down for sure. And that turns out, and that 30% turns out to be a complaint. Like nobody who closed on time or nobody who's a perfect credit borrower never had a complaint. Why is a problem borrower always had a complaint? Because it took longer.
Yeah. Well, so, again, if all of that's addressed, before the loan goes into processing, I mean, that's how it needs to be done. All those things, whatever the issues are, they all need to be done up front. When that loan goes into processing, it's the end of the game.
And like also at that time, expectations should be set up perfect because loan officers keep, like, I know that requires work and takes time. Then it sits in the loan officer's bucket for 2 months and it's sent to processing even if the contract is expired or probably to get expired within the next 5 to 10 business days. And then when you get a loan, you get a call, like 5 calls a day, like what's gonna happen? Am I approved? What's gonna happen? Like we have a closing for 5 days. I cannot do anything with that. I tell them like upfront, like I cannot do anything with that. Like that definitely has to get extended because I just got the loan. Oh, I thought I'm approved. There's still no expectations of it.
Yeah, that's the problem. Then. That's the problem. When that loan goes into processing, it's the end of the game. It's the fourth quarter. All that's that's a breakdown in poor communication.
But that's exactly it, Angelo. If Saeed is spending 3 hours to figure out something that Nadia could explain in 10 minutes, then there's the breakdown. He needs to pick up the phone and call Nadia and ask her. And I'm just using that as an example. It could be anybody. It could be Kevin. It could be Brian, Todd, whoever. But if Saeed has a situation he's not figuring out or doesn't make sense, just pick up the phone and the LO or the LOA.
I said something on the loan. Josh responded back, this loan should not be processing. And then I started receiving 2 pages emails that does not make sense. Like I definitely have to spend like good 2 or 3 hours to make it work as scenario test. Like if RD says, okay, it's going to be acceptable to us, it's not possible, like maybe acceptable to Supreme guidelines or not. If the investor is going to take it or not, we don't know.
Okay, so that loan should never come to processing until all that's addressed.
Right. That was my point about that email yesterday. Is that Josh posed all the questions, we found all the answers, and then we submitted the loan. And if Saeed has any questions, he just has to call us and we'll produce. But I'm not going to just bombard Saeed with a bunch of emails that he's going to have to try to piece a puzzle together. That's where the communication comes in, and we'll save him that 3 hours.
I have something that can kind of help with this. Kevin has sent this out to everybody. It's a checklist of what's in the file. Why when we submit the thing, we're writing a brief synopsis of the loan to the processors.
How many people are using that?
Why don't we send that with it? You go through it. It forces you to check off what's in there. You sign your name on the bottom of it that says you checked it off. And the processor gets it, and the stuff that you signed off is not there, they fucking kick it back. It's easy as that.
Is anybody using that?
Is that fair for everybody? Because it is a list. It's a complete list of what needs to be in a file. Make sure it's there.
I mean, everyone should be doing that. But there are weird loans. Like you
I
have
feel like
the short
as far as those loan officers, we have to be honest with ourselves and also be fair to the processor. She's working on one of my loans. It came back underwriter suspended. So when we talk about it, I was straight up and said, you know what? You got other loans that can be worked on because that borrower is going to take them time to get those few items that was required. So yeah. I already got in my mind, this loan is going to get put on the back burner, and I'm okay with it. I can't sit there and expect for her to continue to work on that when it's going to take time to get that closed. That's not fair to her. That's not fair to the other loans that are in process. We have to be. We gotta be fair.
Not every good loan.
I mean, you feel that?
Not every loan. He has one that's a $600,000 with a short sale. That's it.
No, but that's not what we're talking about. How the loan. I think what the process is referring to the structure of the loan.
The structure loan that should be.
Yeah, the structure and what I'm saying about structure is also setting expectations for the borrower. What Saeed just mentioned is not as setting the expectations with the borrower. If you're not setting the expectations right with the borrower, and the borrower saying we're closing in 5 days, that's not supposed to happen. Okay, and if the loan's not structured, you're missing pertinent items for making a decision on a loan. That is, a hard loan is fine. That's our bread and butter, but structure it properly.
That's it,
Okay.
yes. That's what the check.
That's all I needed. That's all I wanted was a definition. So as long as we're all doing the checklist and everything right, then we're fine.
Yeah.
It should be fine.
Right. That's the whole point. And there's communication with the realtor and the borrower so they know what's going on. You know, that's what they're talking about. If you have that, then you shouldn't have a problem, a bottleneck in processing where you're spending 3 hours on reviewing one loan. Of course, there's going to be an issue if that's the case.
It should never happen.
You know, so, you know, I mean, I think that right there, but, you know, all we're saying is that we're a call for you guys to raise your level of consciousness and become better and do a better job, you know, and so, and take pride in your work and it is extra effort, but that's the, you know, part of the job and the rewards that you're going to get for, you know, doing a good job, you know. And you know what we also see is it's interesting is that if you have a high application rate, but you have a low funding rate, you know, and you have high pre-approvals, but you have low fundings, you know. Usually the person that has the best ratio from approval to fund is usually turning in really good loans. If that person has a high approval rate and low funding rate, there's a problem. You know, so you know, to me, what it sounds like is, and again, we all have differences of viewpoint on it, but I think that it sounds like we need to do a better job of structuring the loans and setting the expectations. It's stuff that Josh talks about all the time.
What's the thing?
The
But
two
that hasn't been
things.
addressed until a week ago. We're just now getting-
I know, but you just started here. We've been talking about this. All these guys know we've been talking about this every month, time and time again, setting the expectations and structuring the loan. We have numerous conversations, videos, discussions on these two topics. And every month, every time, it comes back to the same thing over and over and over and over. You know, so we've been talking about this 1,000 times. This is not the first time we talked about this. So,
The structure along is know what you're doing,
but you have to care.
and you have to know what you're doing.
Right. And if you don't know what you're doing, go sit over there. Okay, stop, get off the phone for 1 day a week and go sit over there and go learn it.
Well, I think most of us now have a schedule to go think about.
You know, if you don't know what you're doing, go sit back there and go learn it. Don't wait for Josh to come rescue you. Okay, that's what is when you want to become an entrepreneur and be successful. Don't get into the point where you're going to drown. Go over there and save your neck. Okay, and go figure it out. Okay, Josh shouldn't have to come in and come bail you out. That's ridiculous. Take the initiative and go back there and go learn it, see what it is. Okay, you know, that's taking personal responsibility. If you don't know how to do it, go figure out how to do it. Well, that comes with the job. You have to learn. You have to figure it out. You know, I mean, it's just like, you know, like it's just like anything else. I mean, I was talking about earlier. You can't will for something to happen. It's like this meltdown that's happened in the market. I can't cry about it. You have to deal with it. You have to think on your feet real quick. You can get wiped out real fast.
The loan's fine.
The
loan's fine. We didn't hear from Saeed today, but the loan is fine. The expectations is structured. He said the meltdown.
So, you know, what aside from that, I mean, here's the thing: that nothing's going to get better until we change, though. Until, you know,
it's not a meltdown.
Again, I'm going to tell you guys this: if you take that loan, it's yours. Okay. Do not take that loan if it's not ready. You need to reject it. You guys know what a loan is. You know what a loan is. Follow the checklist. If you take that loan, I don't want to hear anything about it. But if you take it, they need to stay with you. You need to close it and keep your mouth shut.
Well, they can always ask us questions.
No, but I'm saying I don't want to hear any complaining later on. Okay, but if the loan is not acceptable, guy, it doesn't make any sense. Why would you take in?
Okay, is there any checklist that we could?
There is we've always had the
We
checklist.
have a red light,
Always.
it's a red light checklist, right?
No, because if we reject the file because of one or two reasons, like, it's a small thing that can get to.
If you compromise your standards, you're going to compromise all the standards.
Then nobody sticks to it.
I feel like there are too many gray areas. We need more black and white. How about if it's not ready, reject it?
So it's not gray because y'all make it gray.
There needs a processing auditor.
I mean, no, look, it's just like anything else, man. You know, it's like when you make a batch of, you know, Coca-Cola, you know, every time it has to be the same recipe. It doesn't matter. Every time. You know, you go to a McDonald's in Tampa, you go to a McDonald's in Dallas, it's the same, virtually. So you can't deviate from all that. Say, oh, it's just a little thing. You know, and obviously if the processor makes the decision to take it, that's on them. But here's what ends up happening. Imagine this. You do that 10 times. Now you have 20 hours allocated to fixing these loans. Because it's not just one loan, it's 10 loans. Make an exception here, make an exception there. All of a sudden, now you're spending 30% of your time cleaning up stuff.
And so the end result is you burn the processor out.
Well, you
Where they don't want
have an
processing.
inefficient, you know, pipeline.
And Josh had a good idea, like letting the processor sit with us before we even submit it to know it's ready to go. Because I don't want to waste their time. And if I need this or need that, I'd rather get it up front.
That's wasting your time if they have to sit with you.
Well, for a training, I think it's good that you guys.
Yeah, for at least the first few times. If you're not doing a perfect loan or submitting a loan correctly, it's a good.
Have Brian review your loan.
Well, that just started. So, yeah, and Brian's been looking at mine now. I mean, perfect. But it helps until you know what makes a loan, exactly what they need. It's hard to.
I mean, you can come do that. The other loans can come shadow with your officer once a week, like now, or Kevin did, Fernando did.
I feel like the biggest thing is just sort of the communication with the processor. I try to get a checklist, get into them, and then I'll even go in and be like, hey, this is where we're at with this file. You know,
You have that.
every day, all the time.
Yeah, you talk about
I know where all my files are at, anything I can do. Angelina lets me know if I missed something. And I'm working to correct those little things, so I know if I make my life easier, my loans are gonna close quicker. And everyone has to have that same mentality, to be in with the processor, figure out what you're doing wrong and fix it. That's it.
Yeah,
It's not rocket science.
the processor doesn't want to sit on a loan and not close it. Their goal is to close the loan, so they don't want to sit on it any longer than anyone else has.
Yeah, we're all on the same page. Go on, well.
Some of them want to, you know, close it quicker than it's possible. And, you know, they'll get on you about stuff, but I think this checklist, Kevin just sending it out to everybody. Me personally, I'm gonna be sending this in every file I send to processing. It has everything that you need to do in the files. It has everything you need to do in Encompass, checking rates, checking that your fees are there, checking everything is right before it goes in it.
Okay, so from now on, why don't we make that mandatory? That has to be filled out and signed by the loan officer.
Works for me.
Okay.
So I have to make more columns on that, like what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. Just in case I'm saying it, I know if there's a GK, the documents can be requested, no problem. But if you say if there's a disputed account should be accepted before it's taken out or after taken out, judgment before taken out, I should accept a time there are no documents, it's just comments. We have requested.
Right.
Because definitely we do receive emails saying that pending filling docs, but they never done.
Yeah, they never come. But,
Well, then, I mean, if it's essential
But then
documents.
they're allowed to send in all the filling docs. That's the problem. Everybody knows what's missing. It's not that they don't know what's missing. They know it.
Okay, but that's what I'm telling you, man. That listen, if they're sending a loan with no tax return and pay stub, why would you take that loan?
Because they're coming.
No,
but how come?
I've told you guys so many times, do not take that loan if it's missing those items.
The borrower already have their contact.
I don't care.
They're gonna be blowing us up.
I don't care.
Because they send in the information to the board, okay, this loan is in processing.
No,
And here's the number for the processor.
the loan is not going into processing if you don't have the pertinent information. If you don't have the tax return, the income, those type of things, You cannot send the loan to processing.
You don't have those things, you should have a contract.
Yeah, how could you even get a loan into processing without that? I don't even know how you could do that. Mark? I'm not talking about a deck page, I'm talking about serious stuff that you would need. But without you, that doesn't even, I don't even know why. First off, why does that even come into the process? And second, why are you guys even taking that loan?
Because like, honestly, I classified over that for.
No, you send that loan back.
Ended up as an exception.
No. You send that back, and nobody should send a loan into processing without verified income and credit. That's unbelievable.
That was the gray area.
Because every time
That's common sense 101.
That's holding, that's the log jam.
It turned out to be an exception, so I just, like, I try to look 5 10
If there's a down payment, you need cash to close, verified. And anybody should know that. That's I don't understand why. I mean, why would?
As you said, there's so many exceptions. Like that's what we were like.
No, I also think there's the other issue that I see on every USDA loan, like 98% of my borrowers, they don't know what a termite inspection is. They don't know they have to pay for it. So they yell at me and they don't know what's required. So I think that the LO should explain what a termite inspection is and not how USDA requires it, unless they're like.
Don't they sign something that says, hey, here's all your fees?
Well, those are the things that, once again, that's
Yeah,
the
they don't
checklist.
do all
Things
that.
that people should know.
But they sign it, which means that they have.
Also, what's missing on this checklist is the e-forms. I mean, sometimes get loads of them with the forms.
Josh had that meeting the other night.
I don't understand if you're, I mean, people are.
Okay, guys, but here's the takeaways. Hey, listen, you guys, listen up real quick. Takeaways on this, real quick. I just want to wrap this up. I'm going to get with the closing department and see what we can do to fix that. And then with the from now on, whenever you guys turn a loan, it has to be the submission form has to be filled out and signed by the loan officer. Do not send any loans into processing without verified income and credit. Okay, do not do that. Do not accept those loans, guys. Okay.
How do you even pre-approve them? That's what I'm wondering. How do you even pre-approve them?
I don't know, but those are the main takeaways from this meeting. So, okay, we got to make it better. We got to get better. So
that's one thing I was looking at numbers. And, I'm not going to say whose numbers it was, but I heard something last night, and I was thinking to myself, you don't have verification of income and credit and all that stuff. Go ahead and add 10 to my board right now. You know, if you got half the information, go ahead and add 10 to my pre-approval. All of a sudden, I look a lot better. So just kind of from my beginning perspective, I don't. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Well, you know, I'm purposefully waiting on a lot of these pre-approvals that are possible. They don't have documents or whatever. You're saying they're going in the process, that's baffling to me. So am I allowed to do that? Am I allowed to say okay without that?
no,
I don't see why some of the loan officers are upset if they know it's a loan. They know that some problem with it. I have an understanding knowing that, okay, this is going to take some work on the borrower. It's not like if the underwriter said, we need this done. And I go to the borrower and say, okay, we need this. And they said, it's going to take 3 weeks. I'm not going to continue working on it. I know it's like, you know what, put my on the side. It's, you know, go ahead and focus on whatever else. You know, there's no need to get upset. You know.
no, yeah.
And that's just unfair to put the pressure on that for them to continue to work on something that is.
All right, guys, thank you so much. Hey, Tom, can you email me that video, please? Yeah. Okay. All right, thank you, guys.
Hey, how long did you
Oh, okay. As you said, that's the transition. That's the. There you go.
All right, bye, Mark.
Later.